Listen to me, this is your life, not theirs, not your friends, not your family's, yours. And if you want to make something of yourself, you got to do two things: focus and stay quiet. Moving in silence is one of the most powerful strategies you can use to reach your goals. Too many people waste energy announcing their plans before they've even taken the first real step. They get caught up in talking instead of doing. The problem is, the more you talk about what you're going to do, the more room you leave for opinions, doubts, and distractions. People will start offering their input, telling you what they think you should do, what might go wrong, or why it won't work. And before you know it, you've absorbed their fear, their hesitation, and their limited mindset. When you keep your moves to yourself, you eliminate all that outside noise. You stay in control of your own narrative. You don't give people a chance to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. You don't invite unnecessary criticism before you've even built the foundation of what you're working on. Silence protects your energy. It keeps you focused. It allows you to put all your effort into the actual work instead of wasting time defending or explaining yourself to people who may not even believe in you. Success is built in the dark. It happens behind closed doors in the late hours when no one is watching. The ones who truly make it are not the ones constantly announcing their every move. They are the ones grinding in silence, taking steps forward while the rest of the world is busy talking. When you work in silence, you avoid the pressure of expectations. You free yourself from the weight of proving something to others. Instead of spending time trying to convince people of what you're capable of, you just do it. A lot of people think that announcing their goals will hold them accountable, but in reality, it often does the opposite. It gives them a false sense of accomplishment, as if saying it out loud is part of the work. But the truth is, words don't build success, action does. The more you talk, the more you give yourself a sense of progress, when in reality, nothing has actually happened yet. Talking about your plans can create a temporary high, a feeling of validation, but that feeling fades quickly when real challenges arise. When you move in silence, you don't allow others to interfere with your process. You don't give them the opportunity to discourage you. You don't seek validation, because you understand that success isn't about proving anything to anyone, it's about proving something to yourself. You learn to trust your own instincts, rely on your own discipline, and believe in your own ability to make things happen. You become more self-sufficient, more confident, and more in tune with your own path. There's also an element of power in being unpredictable. When people don't know your next move, they can't interfere. They can't sabotage what they don't see coming. They can't prepare to discourage you if they don't even know what's happening. This gives you an advantage because while they're busy watching and waiting, you're already 5 steps ahead, executing the plan without distraction. The most successful people in the world understand this. They don't waste energy trying to impress people with their intentions. They let their results speak for themselves. They understand that silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's a way to protect their dreams, their focus, and their momentum. Instead of engaging in meaningless conversations about what they plan to do, they use that time to actually do it. This approach not only makes you more productive, but it also makes your success undeniable. When you finally reveal what you've been working on, there's no room for doubt. The results speak louder than any words ever could. The people who once questioned you, doubted you, or underestimated you will have no choice but to acknowledge what you've built. But by then, you won't need their approval because you'll already be where you were meant to be. Stop seeking approval, because the moment you look for validation, you hand over your power. Too many people waste valuable time trying to convince others that their dreams are worth pursuing. They wait for permission for someone to say, yes, that's a good idea, before they even take the first step. But here's the truth. Most people won't see your vision the way you do. They won't understand your passion, your drive, or the reasons behind what you're trying to build. That's because your vision was given to you, not them. It's not their job to believe in it, it's yours. When you constantly seek approval, you give others control over your destiny. You start shaping your goals based on what they think is possible instead of what you know you're capable of. You start adjusting your moves to fit their expectations instead of following what truly feels right for you. Before you know it, you're living someone else's version of success instead of your own. You become dependent on their encouragement, their validation, and their reassurance. And when that approval doesn't come, you start doubting yourself. You start questioning whether you should even move forward. Some people won't support you simply because they can't see past their own limitations. They will project their fears onto you, telling you all the reasons why it won't work, why it's too risky, or why you should take a safer path. But their fear is not your fear. Just because they don't believe they can do it doesn't mean you can't. Their doubts are a reflection of their mindset, not your potential. That's why it's dangerous to depend on outside approval, because the wrong advice, the wrong opinion, or the wrong perspective can derail you from your path before you even get started. Seeking approval also slows you down. Every time you stop to explain yourself, justify your decisions, or get reassurance from others, you lose momentum. You start overthinking, second-guessing, and hesitating when you should be moving forward. And the longer you wait for validation, the harder it becomes to take action. You start measuring your worth based on how people respond instead of trusting your own instincts. You become so focused on how others see you that you forget to focus on actually doing the work. There will always be people who don't get it. People who think your ideas are too big, your ambitions are too unrealistic, or your dreams are out of reach. But their understanding is not required for your success. The greatest achievers in history were all doubted at some point. They were told their ideas wouldn't work, that they weren't qualified, or that they should stick to what's safe. But they didn't let that stop them. They didn't waste time trying to convince people to believe in them. They just believed in themselves and kept moving forward. The strongest, most successful people are the ones who trust their own judgment. They don't wait for validation because they know that real confidence comes from within. They know that no amount of approval from others can replace the belief they have in themselves. They operate on a different level where they don't need applause to keep going. They don't need everyone to agree with them. They don't need permission to chase what they know is possible. When you stop seeking approval, you free yourself from the weight of other people's expectations. You no longer feel the need to explain why you're doing what you're doing. You stop worrying about whether people understand your choices. You start moving with a different kind of energy, one that doesn't depend on external validation but is driven by your own internal purpose. You become unstoppable because your motivation is no longer tied to anyone else's opinion. Discipline over distraction is the difference between success and failure. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or intelligence. They fail because they let distractions pull them away from their goals. Every single day, the world is throwing distractions at you. Social media, entertainment, meaningless conversations, other people's drama, and things that have nothing to do with where you're trying to go. If you don't have the discipline to shut those things out and focus, you'll never reach the level you're capable of. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's easy to work hard when you're excited, when motivation is high, and when everything is going well. But what happens when you're tired? What happens when you're not seeing results right away? What happens when life throws obstacles in your way? That's where discipline separates the winners from everyone else. The people who succeed are the ones who keep going when nobody is watching, when the excitement fades, and when distractions try to pull them off track. Discipline means setting priorities and sticking to them. You have to decide what's more important: scrolling through your phone for hours, or working on your craft, watching TV, or building your future. Hanging out with people who aren't adding value to your life or developing skills that will take you where you want to be. Every single choice you make is either bringing you closer to your goal or pushing you further away from it. The problem is, most people don't realize how much time they're wasting until it's too late. They tell themselves they'll start tomorrow, next week, or next month, and before they know it, years have passed and they're still in the same place. Distractions are designed to keep you average. They exist to keep you comfortable, entertained, and stuck in the same cycle while time slips away. Success requires sacrifice, and sacrifice means cutting out the things that don't serve your purpose. It means waking up earlier, staying up later, and putting in work when everyone else relaxes. It means learning how to say no to things that don't align with your vision. Not every invitation needs to be accepted. Not every notification needs to be checked. Not every conversation needs your attention. You have to train yourself to focus on what truly matters and block out everything else. The reason discipline is so hard for most people is that it requires delayed gratification. It means doing the work now and getting the reward later. Society is built on instant gratification. People want success immediately without putting in the effort. They want the results without the struggle. But that's not how it works. The most successful people are the ones who understand that small, consistent efforts over time lead to big results. They don't let distractions steal their time because they know that every hour wasted is an hour they'll never get back. Discipline also builds confidence. When you prove to yourself that you can stay focused, that you can push through challenges, and that you can stay committed to your goals, you start to believe in yourself on a whole new level. You no longer rely on motivation because you built the habit of showing up and putting in the work no matter what. That level of consistency creates unstoppable momentum. It turns effort into results, results into progress, and progress into success. Every day you have a choice. You can either let distractions control you, or you can take control of your time and your focus. The people who win in life are the ones who choose discipline over distractions every single time. Ignore doubters because their opinions have nothing to do with your potential. The moment you decide to chase something bigger, there will always be people who try to pull you back down. Some will doubt you openly, telling you that your dreams are too big, that your goals are unrealistic, or that you're not qualified. Others will doubt you in silence, watching and waiting for you to fail so they can feel better about their own lack of ambition. Either way, it doesn't matter. Their doubts are their problem, not yours. People project their own fears onto others. When they tell you that you can't do something, it's really them admitting that they don't believe they could do it themselves. They are speaking from their own limitations, their own insecurities, and their own failures. The mistake most people make is allowing that doubt to get inside their own heads. They start second-guessing themselves, wondering if maybe the doubters are right. They let fear creep in and slow them down. The moment you start seeking validation from people who don't even believe in themselves, you lose sight of your own power. Doubters exist because success makes people uncomfortable. When you start growing, when you start changing, when you start doing things that others are afraid to do, it forces them to look at their own lives. Some people can't handle that. They don't want to see you rise because it reminds them that they've stayed the same. It's easier for them to tear you down than to face the fact that they've settled. That's why you can't take it personally when people doubt you. It's not about you, it's about them. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your dreams. You don't have to convince anyone to believe in you. Your job is not to argue with doubters or to prove them wrong. Your job is to stay focused and do the work. Let them doubt. Let them talk. Let them laugh. The only thing that matters is what you do when nobody is watching. Every second you spend worrying about what other people think is a second taken away from your progress. Every conversation you have defending yourself is a distraction from what you should be building. Doubt is only powerful if you listen to it. If you tune it out and keep moving forward, it loses all of its strength. You have to be so locked in on your goals that outside opinions don't even register. Train yourself to see doubt as background noise, something that exists but has no effect on your actions. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by listening to doubters. They got there by believing in themselves even when no one else did. They understood that doubt is just an opinion, not a fact. The more you grow, the more doubters you will have. That's the price of success. People doubt what they don't understand. They doubt what they've never seen before. They doubt because they can't see the vision that was given to you. But that's okay. You weren't put here to live according to their expectations. You weren't meant to fit into their small way of thinking. You were meant to break limits, to go further than they ever imagined, to do things that seem impossible to them. There will be moments when doubt creeps into your own mind. That's normal. But when that happens, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself that you are capable, that you are strong, and that you are built for this. Instead of focusing on the people who don't believe in you, focus on proving something to yourself. Because at the end of the day, the only person who needs to believe in you is you. Consistency wins because talent alone is not enough. You can have all the natural ability in the world, but if you don't show up every single day and put in the work, it won't matter. The most successful people aren't necessarily the smartest, the most gifted, or the most connected. They are the ones who refused to quit. They kept going when others gave up. They kept pushing forward even when they didn't feel like it. That's the power of consistency. It builds momentum, and momentum creates results. Most people fail because they expect instant success. They start something new, put in a little effort, and then get frustrated when they don't see immediate results. They assume that if it's not working right away, it's not meant to be. But success doesn't work like that. It's not about how fast you start, it's about how long you're willing to keep going. The people who truly win are the ones who stay committed long after the excitement wears off. They show up on the days when it's hard, when they're tired, when they don't feel motivated, and when nobody is clapping for them. Small, consistent actions add up over time. The problem is, most people don't realize how powerful those small actions are. They assume that if they're not making big moves, they're not making progress. But every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to where you want to be. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that the successful ones keep taking those steps. They don't stop when they feel like nothing is happening. They trust the process, knowing that every effort they put in is stacking up behind the scenes. Consistency also builds discipline. When you commit to something and do it repeatedly, it becomes a habit. You no longer have to rely on motivation because it becomes a part of who you are. This is what separates the great from the average. The average person only works hard when they feel like it. They wait for the right mood, the right circumstances, or the right inspiration. But the ones who truly succeed understand that discipline beats motivation every time. They don't wait to feel ready. They just do it over and over again, until success becomes inevitable. Another reason consistency is so powerful is because it compounds over time. The more you do something, the better you get at it. It's like working out. If you go to the gym once and expect to be in shape, you'll be disappointed. But if you go consistently, even if you don't see immediate changes, over time your body transforms. The same principle applies to everything in life. Whether it's building a business, mastering a skill, or creating a new habit, the results come from consistent effort, not occasional bursts of hard work. Most people give up too soon because they can't see the progress happening. They get discouraged because they don't realize that the effort they're putting in today will pay off down the line. Success doesn't come in a straight line. There will be days when it feels like nothing is working, days when it seems like you're stuck in the same place. But if you stay consistent, if you keep showing up and doing the work, eventually the results will catch up. What was once difficult becomes easier. What once seemed impossible becomes normal. The truth is, talent fades without consistency. Ideas mean nothing without execution. Ambition is useless without follow-through. The people who accomplish the most in life aren't always the best or the brightest. They're the ones who refuse to stop. They made a decision to stay committed no matter what, and they followed through day after day, even when it wasn't easy. Let success make the noise, because words don't mean anything without results. Too many people spend their time talking about what they're going to do instead of actually doing it. They announce their plans, tell everyone their goals, and look for applause before they've even started. But real success doesn't come from talking, it comes from action. The people who truly win in life don't waste time explaining themselves. They stay focused, put in the work, and let their achievements do the talking. The moment you start announcing your every move, you invite unnecessary opinions. People will question you, doubt you, and try to convince you that your goals are too big. Some will pretend to support you while secretly hoping you fail. Others will give you advice based on their own fears and limitations. The more you talk, the more opportunities you give people to plant doubt in your mind. But when you stay silent and just do the work, you remove all that noise. You stay in control of your own path. Success is built in private long before it's seen in public. The hours spent practicing, learning, and grinding behind the scenes are what create real results. The world only sees the outcome, not the struggle, the discipline, or the sacrifices. That's why you don't need to prove anything to anyone with words. Let your results be undeniable. Let them see what you've built when it's already too late to doubt you. When you focus on the work instead of the recognition, you become unstoppable. People remember results, not promises. Nobody respects someone who constantly talks about what they're going to do but never follows through. But when you stay quiet and show up with results, the same people who doubted you will have no choice but to acknowledge your success. They won't need an explanation because the proof will be right in front of them. When your achievements speak for themselves, you don't have to say a word. The most powerful thing you can do is surprise people with your success. Let them assume you're not doing anything while you're working in silence. Let them overlook you while you're building. Let them underestimate you. Then, when the results come, when the success is obvious, they will realize that they never saw it coming. That moment is always better than any argument, any explanation, or any attempt to convince people to believe in you. When you stop talking and start executing, you separate yourself from the crowd. Most people spend their time chasing attention instead of chasing progress. They seek validation instead of discipline. But the ones who truly succeed don't care about looking successful, they care about being successful. They don't let ego get in the way of their work. They focus on getting better, staying consistent, and pushing forward even when nobody is watching. Let success be the loudest thing in the room. Let your work ethic be the proof of your commitment. Let your achievements be the response to every doubt, every criticism, and every person who didn't believe in you. Because at the end of the day, people may forget what you said, but they will never forget what you've done.